Okay, this is Mike, W9MDB. We're going to go over how to set the waterfall in WSJT-X. One of the things that you need to know is this is what we would call a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. So for example, right now, it's going up to a little over 2500 hertz, which means you won't decode anything over 2500 hertz. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure we have 3 kilohertz of width, assuming that your rig can support that bandwidth. Some older rigs can only do around 2400 hertz width, and we'll show you how to do that too. So what we do is we use this bins per pixel over here, and we increase this number until you see 3000 in the waterfall up here. Now the other thing we want to do is on the left hand side, you'll see this little hump and what looks like noise over here. This is due to this flatten switch, which doesn't like to see the edges of your bandpass. So, and also if you have a rig that has a lower bandpass on the right side, you'll see the same noise over on the right side for the same reason. So if we turn off flatten and we change this to current instead of cumulative here, now you can see the edges of your bandpass on your rig. So you'll see here it starts rolling off right at around 100 hertz here. This is on an IC 7300. So what we do is we change the start offset here, and we normally recommend 200 hertz. That covers most rigs. A few rigs start rolling off at 300, but I would recommend just don't go over 200 because there's a few people, or actually quite a few, I guess, that start around a little over 200 hertz when they're transmitting. So, and you'll see over on the right side, this is starting to roll off at around 3000. So we can shrink this window down to get 3000 in there. Then we can turn this flatten back on. And now you'll see that there's no noise showing in here. And the waterfall is looking very clean at the moment. Now the other thing we want to do now is we want to adjust the waterfall view so that we can see these low noise signals. This signal right here, for example, is, let me find it in my decodes, that's going to be minus 16 right there. Here's another very weak one over here. But we want to see these as many weak signals as we can so we can avoid QRM on top of somebody else when you're picking where to transmit. So that's these two sliders right here, which control the appearance of the waterfall. Now, what I would recommend to start with is take this slider here all the way down and then take this slider up until you start seeing noise in the background. So there's a little bit of noise right in there that you can see, that all this little speckle going on, what I call snow. And now you'll see that this thing that was minus 16 now sticks out really strongly now. Then the next thing we can do is we can pick a different palette. There's lots of palettes to choose from depending on your druthers. This is WSJT-X improved, and it's got one of my palettes in here, W9MDB palette, which I've done to optimize low-level signals and contrast at low levels. So if we pick this, you'll see this changes dramatically. And now we take this down and get that down to where we get a little bit of noise in there, maybe right there. And what you'll see is even low-level signals tend to jump out pretty quickly. There's even one like right in there that you can see now that you couldn't see before. Here's one here that you can see that you couldn't see before. And these are really weak signals that you can now visualize in the waterfall. I'll put a link to this palette for regular WSJT-X. You can download it, and then you can import it here. It'll be w9mdb.pal, and you can import it into the palette designer and use it on WSJT-X or WSJT-X Improved. I've got a slight improvement on it now that does black for the background. And if I import the one that I'll have on my site right here, and click OK, you'll see the background change to black now. So it gives a little better contrast to the low-level signals again for going to the black background. So this is how you adjust the waterfall. Then the other thing we can do is the spectrum down at the bottom. Most people don't use the spectrum, so you can actually get rid of it. But the way to adjust it is with the bottom two sliders. The one on the right moves it up and down like that, and the one on the left changes the magnification, so you can get more if you do want to see it for any reason. But if you don't use it, you can just go over here and change the spectrum down to 0, and it'll go away. Then the other thing we can do is in WSJT-X Improved, you can move your timestamp, for example, over to the right side if you want. And then this N average determines the vertical spacing on the waterfall here. So if we bump this up, I'll wait for one decode period right there. There's the decode, and now we put it up to average 3. These things will be closer together now, so you actually see more time in the waterfall for a shorter height. So this will now be a shorter window here. So you can see it's kind of compressed together a little bit more. And so I hope this helps you to set up your waterfall a little bit better. This is Mike, W9MDB, signing off, 73.